co-host Priscilla of The Joe Flynn Show, and now I am here with David Naughton. We all know who David Naughton is. American Werewolf in London. The movie that, oh my goodness, everybody adores. So I have to ask you about the transformation scene in this movie. I'll watch that movie today, and slow motion, close-ups, it doesn't matter. That transformation scene looked so painful. What was it like going through all the makeup for those scenes?
Well, I would have to say it. I even have some help by showing you photos as we talk about. You know, it was 6 days of shooting for 2 minutes on film and 10 hours a day in a makeup chair. That's enough to make anybody a little crazy. In this scene, that I was showing you this picture, I'm actually in the floor, and this scene took like 5 hours to shoot. So I'm in the floor for 5 hours. So there's just there's no amount of patience that you need, that you can really call upon to do a film like this when you're working with a guy like Rick Baker, who went on to win the Academy Award for this movie, and director John Landis, who were saying to me, it's only going to be 5 more minutes, just 5 more minutes, and that would go on, as I said, for 6 days.
Wow. So then these scenes, the whole transformation scene
took a week to shoot, and it's really only 2 minutes on film, that you see, yeah.
Wow, but it is too convincing, painful.
Well,
and it's the effects still are like timeless. I mean, they're timeless.
Yeah,
it's not outdated. It never will be at all.
Well, I hope, I'm starting to get excited about this film again, just listening to you talk about it.
It's true. And what was it like on the set, the location where the movie was filmed?
Well, it was all on location in England. We were in and around London, and at a Twickenham Studios, a small little film studio then, in 1981 when we made this film. But it was great being in England. I had gone to school there. I had studied acting at drama school in England. So to come back like 5 years later and be involved in this, horror film was a real treat and really a lot of fun. And we used real locations, as people know when they see the film, Piccadilly Circus and Trafalgar Square, and people have gone and tried to find the pubs we used. Those were actually sets. But overall, it was a really fun experience, and I've been back to England a couple of times since, just to take a walk down memory lane.
That was going to be my next question, if those first pubs that you went into were authentic places, or if they were set. And the scenery is just so like hillside, countryside, so beautiful. Of
course, it's pretty cold there when we shot that film in February, and of course, anytime that things would get scary, they'd add rain machines, because you can't have good weather in a horror film. It just never seems to happen, and you don't really need. Why you would have a rain machine in England when it rains there probably 300 days a year? Who knows? But it was it was a fun film to make, and it was really fun to see how it was received. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of it.
I bet. So what was it like watching it in the theater, after it's completed for the first time?
I'd seen it by myself, which just, you get the feeling of, I want to sit by myself and watch this thing that we've, been involved with. But the real payoff is to watch it with an audience, because, you get to see them jump out of their seats. They're really literally jumping out of our seats where there's a dream within a dream scene. People were not ready for that, and it's frightening. And then, I've seen it, more recently with audiences, at these, where they have screenings of the film, and now people who have already seen it, and it's 20 years, 25 years later, they still seem to react in the same places where we originally were intending it to be scary. So,
Exactly, yeah. That's why I think this movie will continue to be talked about for many, many years ahead.
I hope so.
And what was it like working with John Landis?
John Landis is a hoot. He's a very funny, high-energy man. Has lots of ideas, lots of practical jokes. He's really fun. I've always done good work when I'm having fun, so I always look for projects that I'm going to have fun, because then I know they're going to be good.
So if somebody asked you to go through this torturous grueling,
I don't know if I said that.
Would you do it?
I don't know about that. let's just say, I've done it. I've worked with the best. Rick Baker is probably he's at the top of his game in special effects, makeup. There's nobody better. So it would take, I don't know what it would take for me to get back in makeup. Probably working with Rick and John again.
Well, thank you for going through that for us. Especially the hand stretching scene.
Well, yeah, I just, to be honest with you, I didn't know what I was going to go through. You look on the script and it says, David changes into a werewolf. And you look and say, okay, what does that mean? Then you actually find out that you have to go through this kind of makeup session and the long, painstaking effects that it takes. And you go, oh, okay, that's what I needed to do. Oh, maybe I should have renegotiated.
So convincing, though, my gosh.
That was fun.
And how did they do the headshots? The head
Yeah, well, there was actually what Rick called a change-o head, in which it was a mechanical head that, at one point the transformation goes from my face cut to this mechanical head, which actually, the snout grew on cue, cut back to me in a more advanced stage of the makeup, and there you have Rick Baker's genius.
And did you do that the same day that you did the whole full body transformation?
Well, it literally took
little
pieces at a time, as far as you could go with a certain development of the makeup, and then that would be as far as we'd have to shoot. Come back tomorrow, we'll do the next day. And as I said, the application of the makeup took so long, we could only do just small amounts when we actually had it ready to shoot, because it took all day to put the makeup on.
To get ready to film that small amount of time, that moment.
That's
pretty
right.
much, you're filming a moment.
That's right.
Wow. Now, what about Brutal Massacre? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I sure can. I even have a little visual aid.
Let's show that poster.
Little visual aid. Here are a number of people that have been in other horror classic films. Ken Faree, Jerry Bednob, Brian O'Halloran, myself, Ellen Sandwise, and the very scary Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface, of course, in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We all got together and made a comedy called Brutal Massacre, a comedy in which I play the director of this madcap group that tries to make a real horror film, and it's such a bad horror film, we don't realize that. And everything that can go wrong, of course, does on this small independent film. So it's, for people that know about independent films, they find it hilarious because all these things actually do happen. Just things don't work out right. And then those that don't know anything about it will just go and enjoy the film because it's fun.
And has there been a release date, or are there certain premieres in certain cities?
Yes. Well, I wish I could tell you specifically. We've been trying to. Anchor Bay is the distributor. The DVD release is going to be in July, and we're hoping for a limited theatrical release in major cities. What that actually means, who knows? But that's supposed to be in mid-May, so we're just a couple of weeks away.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Hey, my
much.
pleasure,
It's been very
Priscilla.
good
Thanks
meeting
so
you.
much.
Thanks for going through all this for us.
All right.
It's very convincing.
Thank you.
And can't wait to see Brutal Massacre.
Thanks.
Sounds fun. Thank you very much. That was my interview with David Naughton.